hot-tempered. That's even the word, hot-tempered. So I was hot-tempered, and probably because I watched my parents, I didn't really regard people. I didn't know how to give respect to people. So these were things, and I was stubborn. I was very stubborn. Wow. I was stubborn and highly opinionated.
Wow.
That's the combinations.
That's serious. That's explosive.
I'm telling you, highly opinionated. So, and I loved to argue.
Whoa.
I could argue. Oh, you can't win me in an argument. And I used to argue off point. I don't know if you know what off point means.
Yeah.
Argue
it's not making sense,
but because I am opinionated, so I would stand my ground on whatever I'm saying. And no matter what you're saying, I can't understand you. I don't even want to understand you except you understand me.
Wow.
And these were things I grew up with. And because I grew up like that, I didn't even know it was a problem. And my parents wouldn't have pointed it out as a problem because I got it from them, so we are all alike. So it was when I now left and got into the university. I think when I even found out that I actually had the problem when I met my husband, because I didn't know I had a problem. I actually thought I was good. And, I love to smile. So I was a smiley kind of person. So it's only when you get to me that you now you see anger, but if you meet me, you will never know. So it was just beautiful, So I didn't see it as a problem until I met my husband. And in our relationship, we went out for 5 years. We went out for 5 years before we got married. So it was in that, in our going out, then he starts to point out things. And I'm like, what is the problem? As in, I don't see it as a problem. When I was arguing, people used to tell me, people used to hail me for my arguing skills, and they'll be telling me how I have had 2 people want to sponsor me to read law because I could argue. So it was a strength. Yes. That was what I thought. It was a strength. So how do I now meet a man and he's telling me that this is not a strength? Yeah. This is terrible. Yeah. You can't continue that way. So it was a lot to battle with. And not knowing, by the time we got married, this thing started to put a strain in our relationship. And it became so bad because the man I married was such an amazing man. He came from a background that was very peaceful. He's a very peaceful person till date. He is very peaceful. He doesn't like problems, trouble, nothing. But me, I came from a home that did not know what peace looked like. So peace for us was you shout, and that's peace. Yeah. When it's not peace is when you start boxing, when you start fighting. So if I'm talking, we're like, why are you raising your voice? Why? I'm like, me. I said, there's no problem. Nothing is happening yet. So my husband couldn't just understand where I was coming from. And I think another problem I had was that I didn't really have an understanding of what God had put in his life and who he was to people. And because everything I did was affecting him, even to ministry. You have a ministration you're going to go for. You don't want to have an argument before a ministration. But I didn't even understand all these things at that time. So I can make him so upset before he goes for administration. I think it just took God to help my husband during that period, because you have to show up to the people and you have to give to them, and it's now that I'm doing ministries, now that God has, that I now understand the place I put him in, those years, because you need a mind that is, at peace, and you need a free spirit even to receive from God. You don't need offense. You can't receive from the Holy Spirit with offense. So you imagine what I was doing. I think the devil was just using me, at that point. And these things were things that caused a lot of strain, to the extent that at some point my husband even, stopped talking much to me. He would just be quiet. I can say everything I want to say. He would just be nodding his head. And you're expecting that he shouldn't just nod, but he was just nodding because I don't know the next thing I'll say, and you flip, you go off, and I won't know how to control you. So, and just to go back to what you said, sir, about, him saying I left him. Do you know, the truth is that angry people, most times, when they do the things they do, they don't even know what they are doing. They don't remember.
Wow.
They don't remember what they do, because they do it in anger, in the heat of the moment. It's an emotion that it's uncontrolled. And because you react, based on that emotion, by the time you come back to your senses, by the time you calm down, you forget too many things you did in the heat of that outburst. So it's the people that you have offended or hurt that are the people that can remember what you did. My husband has also reminded me, one of the times he spoke, he said he can remember the times I threw plates out of anger. Do you know I can't remember it? And I'll tell him, are you sure it's me? I said, it can't be me. No, I couldn't have done that. Me now. No, it's not me. But you see, but these are things you do, and it keeps, it keeps, there was something I said in my book, and I said that, I said something, I'm sure you must have read it, when I said that, today marriages, what is breaking homes is not even, it's not as much as, those days where you say maybe it's infidelity. The things that are breaking homes today are these little things. They look little, but you see anger, you see whether it's being highly opinionated, disrespect, unforgiveness, assumptions.
Yes,
these things are eating into homes. And without you knowing, that's why you hear people say irreconcilable differences.
Yes.
What are those things that,
And then sometimes you ask, you say, what happened?
Yes.
I don't even know what happened in our marriage, but we don't want to be married anymore. But they can't pinpoint exactly what it was, because it's those little things.
Those little things.
Wow.
Those are those little foxes,
Yes.
They are the little foxes. And that's why this book is so timely, and it's so good we're talking about it today.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
But thank God for your husband. He's so patient.
Oh, God blessed me.
Oh,
God blessed
he's
me.
very
He
patient.
took a lot from me.
Yes.
There were days I'll bang the door at him. We'll be talking. And this is see, even you're the one you say, you can't even imagine it.
Yeah, because the reason I went was because when we married, we were not Christians.
Yes.
And because I've seen my father, the way he dealt with my mom.
Yes.
I knew she grew up in Europe.
Yeah.
And European ladies have this attitude. When they get angry, bang the door. So I had to sit down with her and say, sis, whenever you get angry, don't bang the door. Just call me into a room quietly so we can talk.
Yes.
So I said, our children must never see us bang door or shout or fight. And we thank God, all these years, it never happened. She just called me in a room, we sit down, we talk. When we finish and everything's okay, we're out, back to normal. I said, so don't bang door. So when you say you bang door, that's where I went, what?
So, that was it, because maybe we'll start talking, and at some point, I can't take it anymore. It's probably not going the way I want it to.
That's what it is.
So I'm like, you know what? Whatever wants to happen, let it happen.
Yes.
Wow.
And I walk out, I bang the door, and he's there. And he won't chase me. He won't come after me. He won't raise his hands. He won't raise his voice. He will just stay there. Even, you know what he used to do those days? He would just cry. My husband would cry.
Oh.
I made him cry.
Oh.
Serious.
It's when he starts to cry. And I realize, okay.
It's really bad.
It's bad. What you did is bad. Because when I'm doing these things, I don't even know
Wow.
that, this, I'm going too far. It's like you don't know where the boundary lines are anymore.
Yeah.
So it's only when you now see him, then I'm like, okay, oh, you've just gone, this, you shouldn't have gone this way. Then I start begging. I will kneel down and beg. I will start begging. And my husband always tell me then, I'm not a bulb, a light bulb that you switch on and off at,
Days into our marriage and all that. And I was talking to my wife about something. My wife just clears the entire table. There were breakable plates and breakable cups on top of the kitchen and all that. And I was talking to her. She just used her hand like this, cleared all of them on the ground. Yes, serious clearing. Cleared all of them on the ground, and everything broke and all that. And I'm looking, I've never seen that type of thing before, because where I'm coming from, we're not used to it, and everything just broke like that. Oh, are you afraid for the story I'm telling? My wife hears it. When I tell it, she laughs. She even contributes. Oh yes, because right now she's okay. You understand what I'm saying? So she even contributes, and you know what? I thank God that I'm able to go through what I went through, because the Bible says so that but I must tell you, it was not funny. It's not the kind of thing that I said. I told the people who came on Wednesday, I was on the streets of London with my wife and went to shop, and that time, Kai. And by the time we were there, I said something to my wife, because I asked her, you should have told me you were going, and she said, that why am I saying that? Why am I doing this thing? And I thought it was a joke. My wife left me in the shop and went home. I don't live in London. I don't know my way around London. She left me inside the shop and went home. I have stayed there. I didn't know how to go. And I called a friend and I said, please, oh, I am here. Oh, I don't know how to. I'm calling my wife and my wife is not picking the phone. And her friend called my wife and asked her, and where are you? I was like, she's like, she's in the house. Is anything the problem? She said, well, you left your husband in the man. He said, that he will find his way and come back. Have I found before? I've never found my way to come back. And the truth of the matter was that was how she left me. Her friend had to be the one that would bring me back. And you can imagine that type of life. You can imagine that type of. One day my wife looked at me. One day I was talking to her. She said, hi, you have a problem. I told her, yes. What is the problem? She said, the problem is that you like peace too much. Heaven bear me witness. She said that. He said, you like peace too much. I said, I like peace too much. He said, yes, you like peace too much. I'm praying with my wife one day, and then we're praying. And she says to me, oh, my time is almost gone. And she says to me, while the prayer was going on, she touched me. Summarize. And she told me, say, summarize. And that day I looked at her, I said, even with God too. And the truth is that, but right now, I got married to one of the amazing prayer warriors you can ever think.
What is that dynamic like, to have your wife, who you are obviously very close to,
yes,
but also just recognize this unction,
yes,
and respect it independently of your role as a husband?
Yes. And so I think that my wife and I had our own, we will I call it our own illumination season, so to speak. So, I mean, if you read her book, I Almost Ruined My Marriage, so she needed to see the pastor in me, not necessarily her husband, during those teething and very turbulent times, So, and I didn't realize why God was causing me to, to be in that place of being molded by her actions, right? Being a true Christian, by her. So, I mean, things were not going too well, and I still was in that place where I was trying to be the great, spouse, be the very, So, when she came full circle, she realized that, you know what? Beyond even this supernatural, beyond this manifestation, this man is a true Christian. Do you understand? Like, this is what it is. Like you said, that it is not acting, which is one thing I pray to God every day. I'm sincerely in that place where all I desire with all of this, growing numbers is that Jesus be pleased. That is all I desire. As in, I don't know what else that, comes to my heart every day, more than the fact that I just want God be glorified in everything. Just look at us and be happy. Look at us and don't feel like, okay, they've joined this bandwagon again. May we never, in our journey, it's a heartbeat for me. May we never, what comes with this whole thing? The attention, the people who want you, the nations of the world. I mean, it's growing. And my desire is just to make sure that I'm still in that space where my heart, I just want to keep loving God. I just want to see Him keep working on me, helping me to live for Him. That's all I want. I don't want to, when these things get on, and then you are in that space where everybody, I just want to love God and just keep doing the right thing. Never coming to a point in my life where, you're caught up with the frenzy and you start losing balance. Yeah. So that's just my, I'm sorry. Until you've seen a situation of 3 family members having cancer at the same time, and then they've gone through treatment, and I remember these things every morning. I come to the altar, and then if you imagine the number of devices put on, whether it's on YouTube, on Facebook, how many people will connect, so you can imagine how much, issues we have to deal with, and people who send us too many, prayer requests, and all that. Sometimes I'm just overwhelmed, and I'm saying and because my heart is in this, you don't know. Every time there's people who walk with me know. Every time someone is healed, the joy, I could tell my peers, I'm so excited. God, I'll be sharing testimonies with them and all of, because I just want to see people smile. I mean, I hate anything that represents evil, so every time I come, the burden can't even go away.
Yeah.
The burden can't even go away, because sometimes if God doesn't even place the burden in your heart, the things you're seeing, the messages you're seeing, if we finish this interview, if I bring out my phone now without anything and I show you, you'll just see a list of, this one and all of that. I've had to change numbers, but it's not working. So you still have these messages enter into how the new one goes out, and people find that one and it just goes out. People are hurting.
Yeah.
So how can, and this is what I feel like the reason why we've seen the miraculous so much in what we do is because of our hearts.
Yes.
So, like you said, compassion. Nobody can walk in the supernatural without compassion. Because I see a lot of pastors who come to me, Pastor Jerry, we want this mantle of the miraculous, lay hands on us. They don't used to lay. I mean, there are things that come from the place of brokenness. Can you carry this burden? What do you want out of this miraculous? What do you want? For me, to see people change, to see people smile again, to see families, united again, to see that guy that is, has gone the way of addiction, be restored, but to see homes, to just see people laugh and smile, because wickedness in the sun is pro. More than ever before, there's everywhere you look, you see an autistic child, parents that say autism, this one, you see this one here, they just sit back and go like, now, wow, as in problem everywhere. Someone wakes up and it's fine. I mean, like 3 months after, the person is now saying something is wrong with me. They say my spine had, you just go for a routine test. And you now go and they say your liver has a problem. By the time you know what's happening, 4 weeks after, everything. I mean, someone just told me, say, Pastor, there's someone who said she was driving. As of 2 weeks ago, she was driving. As of 2 weeks ago, right now, one of my pastors was telling me she can't use her 2 hands. From nowhere, the hands can't be used anymore. So the question is, what is this? So I just sit back and I'm like, okay, this was even in the UK. So what is she doing? What has she's done everything. She's even a medical person. So what am I supposed to sit down and tell? And these are many more. As far as the devil does not rest in bringing out evil, I will not rest.